Assalamu alaikum, Mr. Saiju. Hi, Prasad.
Yeah, I think the full team has joined. Adil, just can you introduce or Prasad can you introduce the EDS? Then we can start with Gupta on the details.
Yeah, sure, ma'am. Hi, Amarnath. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Mr. Saiju.
Okay, so we are from the Future Communications Company,
I
and
think
as
both
Great.
of you in the same room. Can you mute anyone, boss? That you are in the same room or what? Is echoing the voice.
I think Shaiju, can you mute, please?
Start. So in a few minutes. Okay.
Yeah, Adil, can you just brief about EDS?
Fine, fine. Hi, Amarnath. So
Hi.
basically, we are from Future Communications Company, and this is a group company which has got multiple companies. One of the company's division is called EBS, Enterprise Business Solutions. We are from the division. Mr. Khayyam, as we have already met, he is our GM. Mr. Prasad is our delivery manager. Shaiju is our senior consultant here, finance, and I am the operation manager here.
Great.
So basically our core business area is Microsoft ecosystem. Plus, we have three areas basically. That is, one is application side, which is Microsoft ERP, CRM, and multiple other business applications. Second part is cyber security. Third is customer experience solutions. So this is what we do, and we have operations spread across the GCC, which is Kuwait, Saudi, Qatar, Bahrain, and even India. We have multiple couple of offices in India, and recently we are moving to UK as well.
Great.
And we have 85 plus projects delivered in all these three segments. So this is what we do in a nutshell. So what we are looking for, I think Sam can explain more now. Yeah.
See, I have been getting in touch with Amarnath through LinkedIn and I saw he's open to work. So, as my understanding from him, he has a huge experience in the Microsoft Dynamics. So, I will leave the floor to him. Basically, I am looking particular module from Amarnath, whichever is comfortable, plus project management of the side. So, especially for the XCC project. So, Amananda, everything is on you. So please describe yourself. Then the team will take on.
All right. So, well, my name is Amarnath Gupta, and I basically belong to West Bengal, but I am born and brought up in Delhi, and then after that, settled back in Bangalore and in Chennai region. So, after my engineering, I got settled over here only. I've got almost 23 plus years of experience into IT industry, but especially when it comes about Microsoft ecosystem and the Dynamics, then I've been working on Microsoft Dynamics products and the projects from past 18 and a half years. Initially, I was inducted to this Microsoft Dynamics ecosystem with a product called Microsoft Dynamics NAV, and then later quickly I moved to finance and operation, which was exact at that time. AX 4.0 it was there. So my journey with Dynamics 365 started with AX4, then moved to AX 2012, and then finally into Dynamics 365. Uh, if you talk about my expertise, then I would divide it into three different segments or three different parts. One is my skills on the product, that means my product expertise. So, on towards my product expertise side on Dynamics 365 Finance and Operation, I am a certified consultant. Of course, I needed to have the certification, so I got it as well. For the finance, supply chain, and operations, which is the project operations right now, as you know that. If you talk about my expertise from the functional point of view, then I have the solution architect level of knowledge for finance, supply chain, project and operation, which is a manufacturing module, by the way, and especially to advanced warehousing, including third party logistics as well. We've done more than 10 plus projects for the retails as well, but I have not got the certification for retail, by the way. Uh, and Currently, I'm working as a delivery head, which is a practice director position over here, and I'm responsible for the entire Microsoft Dynamics P&L, which includes Business Central, CE, and FNO, all three products, including Power Apps application developments as well. I've been working as a practice manager and the practice director from past 12 years of this time, but still my virtue of the consulting has not left basically. So still my day-to-day responsibilities or KRA you can say it also includes involving into the projects, looking into the nitty-gritties of the solution design, the architecture, how we are proposing to customer, which starts from even the pre-sales stage itself, because normally we'll have a large scale client multi-country rollouts and multi-units implementation. So you know the solution design architectures, whether this is going to be an on-premise solution for them, FNO, or maybe they want to go for the cloud, because still in Middle East region we found with couple of customers there is a little hesitancy towards FNO on-premise, of course, and definitely an on-premise solution lacks a couple of important features also, that integration with Power BI and like AI modules availability, but all that together anyway. To the second side of my career or the expertise is this project management and the delivery side. So of course, and I'm certified PMP professional, and I've been acting as a project manager from past 18 years and delivered more than 50 plus full life cycle projects on Microsoft Dynamics 365 FNO itself. And when I'm referring to FNO, then it starts referring back from AX4 and then coming to 2012, and then finally to Dynamics 365 FNO as well. Majorly work for manufacturing domain, healthcare domain, real estate and construction, because in Middle East customers, especially in the Saudi Arabian customers, we had the chance to work with real estate and construction company. When I was working with NetSoft Group in Saudi Arabia, I even worked for Bin Laden Group and the Aqua Holding Group, kind of a large scale company where we implemented multi-unit rollout for them. So the project management side, I am a certified Scrum Master as well. I did my Scrum Master certification in 2016 itself, and I use an agile project management and the delivery methodology. And the good part is that you can even Google it and you will find out there is a framework called XDRI. It's a Accelerated Development and Reimplementation Framework, which is by virtue developed and grown within my current company by me. I was the key person to lay down the methodology, because for Microsoft Dynamics 365 you look forward earlier, sometime back we used to use Sure Step, then now the Lifecycle Manager, Lifecycle Services has come up, and all together we use DevOps, and finally the Agile project development methodology as well. But it is not purely any of one. Call it agile, call it a scrum, call it life cycle service, call it anything else. It is always mix and match. We pull out some of the core fundamentals and processes of agile. We pull out some of the fundamentals from even the TOGAF. Then we pull out a lot of processes and the fundamentals from life cycle services, and finally which makes it the most suitable to deliver the large scale multi location, multi country and the multi units kind of implementation. and finally after implementation, post implementation support as well. So that XDRI framework is grown by me, which it's a proprietary framework by the way, and this is IP of this my current company right now. And on the third
Okay.
side, and on the third side of my skills is about leadership. So the leadership I majorly, confine it within this people management, account management, and the risk management. So when it is coming about people management, then I am the man on the ground who always believe in let's do it. I never say to my team members that go and get it done. I get into my hands dirty on the projects, on the subject matters, on the requirements, and then finally I work with the team. I gel with them as their own team member. There is no hierarchy mentioned within my dictionary of leadership skill, and I work along with my entire project management and the delivery team. Where, of course, on the other side, my RMG group, resource management, HR, what you call normally, and even the finance team is also part of that. So these are the three facets of my career journey, my skills, my learnings. There are some good learnings, and definitely I'm looking for a change now because I have already spent more than 10.5 years within this company. I was the one instrumental in expanding the business even into the Middle East location as well as into South Africa region, North Africa region. Currently, we are operating from Ghana and we are serving four countries over there: Ghana, Kenya, Niger, and the South Africa. So after that, being worked with this company for more than 10 years, everything is laid down. Now, of course, this is a good time for me, but I'm looking for some more challenging work where I have a lot of things to do, not just to keep track and the control of the things which is already grown up by the time. But I want to work in an environment where a lot of things has to be done. There are new opportunities where I require to work. I need to interact with the people, setting up the new environment, getting socialized with the people, and of course, very well we switch to any organization. We unlearn some bad learnings from the previous experience, and we learn new things. There is always a learning path and learning curve going on in for me, and that's why I'm looking for a change now, for which it was my a great miraculous opportunity that I could get in touch with Mr. Kiamuddin, and I requested him if there was an opportunity, and that's why I'm right now sitting in front of you.
Thanks, Amarnath, for your brief introduction. Uh, Basically, today I will be clear cut that we are looking into two parts from your end. One is to have a finance function knowledge and finance function. Another thing is to have a project management. That's what this is where I'm interested. So I will leave the floor to my team, Saidu and Prasad, to have a chit chat here to understand the knowledge and what, and then we will take further.
Sure, sure.
Saidu
My,
and Prasad,
my
over to you.
pleasure. My
Yeah,
pleasure.
thank
Yes, Shaju, yes, Prasad.
Yeah. Just before we get into the finance part, you were saying that you were helping your team and you are well versed in giving the acting as a system architect also.
Right.
Can you just tell me what do you know about golden configuration and what are its uses?
Well, basically, golden configuration is a, you can say, is a master server, which normally once we have done our UAT and testing is done, and we are just supposed to go live. Because see, one thing I would like to let you know that normally this depends upon different partner to partner. Like for an example, within our company, we create golden server with the golden configuration. That means the final configuration before going live. There are a couple of organizations, there are a couple of partners who tend to create their golden server after going live, so that once they see that okay, everything is fine, it is stabilized. 1 week of operation has run without any glitches. Finally, the client is able to work. Then we create a golden server. Golden server is, you can say, the final and the master configuration. So whenever there is a change required, there is a development or there is a customization done, ultimately it relates back to the golden server, so that in case, take an example, that tomorrow we have a disaster recovery to be done, then that golden server works for us. And that is generally used in the on-premises environment. In Microsoft Cloud environment, Golden Server, some customers they tend not to use, because of course it increases their little bit of the cost. Sometimes they use it as well.
Okay. Coming to the latest things in Microsoft Dynamics 365, have you done MT940 and how is it done?
Well, basically, MT940 is one of the basic requirement. It's not even the new requirement, because every organization nowadays they are tend to automate their finance system, where at least they want to automate their vendor payment and the bank reconciliation system. So MT940 integration we have been doing for almost 80% of our customers, where using MT940 we automate vendor payment, so that whenever there is a vendor payment journal is created and all the day wise vendor payment has been finalized and it is approved by the finance manager, there one single click even directly automates and sends the instruction to the bank, and then the payments are done to them. At the same time, on the second side also, that because they get MT940 bank statement from all the banks. Normally all the banks are providing, even in India also. Axis Bank, IC, we have done already for Axis Bank and ICICI Bank. So they get a MT940 bank statement, and then system automatically now evaluates and does this bank reconciliation. What we have additionally used with just the last project, which is already under post go live support, and that is for because now the project has gone live, so we don't have any problem with even disclosing the customer name. It's a Emerald Gold Jewelry, which is the Asia's largest gold jewelry manufacturer. They are based out of Coimbatore in Tamil Nadu, and they have branches all over India and overseas as well. We have even included Microsoft Copilot for them. So what is happening right now, that when they do the MT940 bank statement import and the knockoff is done, then there are certain transactions which still left unknocked off. Then the Microsoft Copilot and my Azure AI system, what it is doing, it is trying to get into the different transactions within the database, and it finds out whichever is the best match, and that best match is provided, the nearest match, closer to that nearest match is provided on a single screen, where my finance account payable manager, he can simply go and tick mark that okay, these transactions I confirm that this is to be reconciled, and it automatically reconcile to that.
Okay. Seju?
Hi, Mr. Amarnath. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you so much, Mr. Saji. I believe, I'm sorry, but earlier also we have communicated. Where I'm not sure, but yes, your name seems to be quite familiar to me.
Oh, I don't remember him. All right, anyway. So, just for the sake of asking few questions, I want
Please,
to
go ahead.
ask something. Since
Please,
you are a high profile person, I don't want to get into simple questions. Just high level questions I want to ask you.
please, please.
So let's say my organization, okay, let's say my organization is a holding kind of organization, and there are certain cases the holding company may release the payment of a subsidiary invoices. So what is the functionality we can use it for this purpose?
Normally we use this holding company. They always we create a virtual company which we call as a consolidation company. Okay,
No,
and
this my sorry to interrupt you.
yeah.
So I have a separate holding company. It is an operational company itself.
It's not a consolidation company.
Okay.
Okay. So on behalf of subsidiary companies, the holding company release the payment. So is there any functionality available in Microsoft Dynamics to achieve this functionality? This is
No,
my
no.
question.
By default, there is no specific functionality because if you talk about the first of all, let us talk from the finance perspective. Then how it is to be done.
Yeah.
So from the finance perspective, whenever a holding company is going to release a fund for maybe let's take an example that to renovate the building or you call it to make the salary payment because nowadays what's happened especially this is the real case scenario where holding company releases centralized salary to everyone. It's happening in Aditya Birla Group as well already right now. So I'll tell you the example. So in from the finance perspective, this is always taken as an investment. Okay, this is always going to be an investment within this subsidiary company. So what happens, the ledgers are matched. Now to match the ledger within Dynamics 365 finance and operation, if you will look at, then within the different business units we have the functionality of exposing of one particular GL account or one particular ledgers within all company or a specific to the specific company, or we can restrict it to, so what happens, the chart of account ledgers can be opened to be transacted from that particular holding company. So every time holding company is going to make the payment to that subsidiary company, that will come as an investment in a books of account. Okay, and the default functionality if you want to ask to be used in Dynamics, then the Dynamics allows you to interact with the specific ledgers of your one units or one legal entity chart of account to another legal entity chart of account to another legal entity in a very very simple way you call it because
Let's say let me elaborate. Let me
yeah please.
this point a little more.
Okay.
Let's say the sub from a vendor, they received an invoice from a vendor, but this invoice is settled by the holding company. The subsidiary invoice is settled by the holding company. By they are the one releasing the payment for this invoices. So do we have any kind of functionality to release a payment of subsidiary by the holding company? This is my question.
So that's what I told you. If
Any
you,
functionality.
yeah, if you
I
want,
understood.
if
I understood your point. You said open an account in the chart of account and then due to all those I understood. But my question is there any direct functionality available in Microsoft Dynamics to settle an invoice of the subsidiary by the holding company?
there is a functionality which can settle the invoice and make the payment for that subsidiary company as well, but very very importantly that is not applicable outside United States. That is not
So
applicable
have you
outside
have
United
you
States.
have you heard about, sorry to interrupt you, have you heard about the centralized payment?
Yeah, centralized payment, I know that. That's what I'm saying you. That the centralized payment, whenever we make the centralized payment, that is not applicable out of the United States. Legally, it is not because as soon as the what you call legal entity and the tax identification number changes, then it can only the money can only flow through the investment, not by having the centralized payment system.
How does the centralized payment will work?
Centralized payment, I because we have not, I personally have not worked on those centralized payment systems right now here, because the as I told you that it is
Okay.
majorly used in US system only, but even in Middle East, centralized payment cannot be used. No way,
All right. Let me move to the next question.
please.
So, what are the uh, acquisition functionalities available in Microsoft Dynamics?
Well, so first is the direct acquisition. So what we can do, you are referring to the fixed asset acquisition, you mean to say?
Yeah, fixed asset acquisition. Fixed
Right,
asset acquisition.
Right. So one is we can do the direct acquisition. So we purchase and fix assets directly in the fixed asset mode, and it has been acquisited. Then there is another opportunity, project to project acquisition. So what happens that normally there is a big building is going to come up. Where is it? There is take consider as an example that a company is going to set up a new factory. So what happens that there an internal investment project is created. All the investment, all the expenditure of that factory setup is booked to that particular internal project, and finally that project can be converted to a fixed asset. So there are two direct methods. One is the project to fixed asset, and one is the, of course, a direct fixed asset acquisition.
Is there any other functionality available?
Normally I have used only two of these functionalities because these were the customer's requirement.
Mhm. So you mean one from fixed asset module directly and the other from project account.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Is it possible to create a purchase order for acquiring an asset?
No, see, to you cannot raise a purchase order to acquire an asset. The purchase orders are raised just a simple purchase order, but any purchase item can be converted to fixed asset, which is called fixed asset acquisition.
Okay, fine. All right. How do you handle capex
Okay,
in Microsoft Dynamics?
so whenever there is a capex requirement, what happens that capex normally goes by two different ways. One is this budget planning, and the second is the project, internal projects, what we call it. Because any capex requirement, if it is coming up, consider I'm talking from the pure finance point of view, because unless there is not a set ground of the finance, dynamics is not going to help you. So first there has to be a finance background setup. So the finance ground is that whenever there is a capex requirement, there has to be a requisition raised. So the requisition can be in terms of the purchase requisition, the requisition can be in terms of the project requisition, or the requisition can be in terms of the particular payment head or account head. So whenever the capex requirement, that means the requisition is raised, it goes to finance controller or the finance manager, whoever is within the particular life cycle of that workflow approval. And once that particular capex request, that means this requisition is approved, then finally the payment is released. But once again, whenever we are going to whenever we are going to have the capex requirement, that capex requirement finally will be tagged to a particular vendor, because the money, the capex expenditure, it is going to definitely involve in either buying material or buying service or paying for services. So these three are the case scenarios for this.
Okay. So, uh, if I want to generate my GL budget based on inventory forecasting, I want to generate my GL budget based on inventory forecasting.
Okay.
Is there any functionality in Microsoft Dynamics to achieve this point?
So for that only we have got the master planning. So as soon as you will
So
run
based,
as soon as you will run MRP, you will have inventory planning, inventory budget coming in, and once we have the inventory forecast from the MRP appeared, we can convert it to the budget.
all right. So, Prasad, I am done with actually, Mr. Amarnath.
Okay. See, Mr. Amarnath,
Yes, Mr. Prasad.
say if you have a project and you are working as a financial consultant, and the company is moving from a legacy ERP system to Microsoft Dynamics. Okay?
Okay.
So the company has multiple legal entities across different countries and inside the country also. Okay, one of their requirement is that they need to move the legacy data from the multiple entities into D365.
So there the
So what will be your approach in this case?
so
How
so
would you
so so
suggest?
so
Yeah.
so there the approach of ADM, which is application data management, comes up. Okay.
Okay.
Once again, it's a very live example which initially I was talking about, that a delivery methodology within the Dynamics
Then okay.
365 frame.
One second.
Yeah,
Sorry to interrupt.
please.
Can you give me an answer pertaining to Dynamics 365? How would you do that?
Okay, so for the Dynamics 365, when we need to migrate data from the legacy system, then first of all, we need to divide the data into two different parts. One part is that the master data and the open transactions. Of course, normally master data and open transactions are done in this normal way of doing the project implementation. Then it comes about the transactional data. So transactional data, it requires a lot of conversion and the data cleaning. So that's what I said, that ADM approach, where first of all
Okay.
where we need to first of all plan the data migration. So during the planning of the data migration, we will take the database dump from that particular legacy system, be it in SQL or MySQL, and we ask the customer if they can provide those data dump into Excel format. That becomes the best part of us, because ultimately we need to convert into Excel ourselves also, whatever way we are going to do. Then after that, the second part is this data cleansing. So our functional consultant, being as a finance consultant, for every transaction, once we create a mapping template for us, then all those data need to slowly, one by one, converted into the master data template, which is a transactional data template. Then once the data template is converted, and we have checked that okay, these data are cleansed completely, then finally we start importing into our sandbox environment, where the sandbox environment, once we have imported the data, we give it to our customer for the complete testing. So the data testing, with the first round of testing, is of course done by functional consultant
How would
only.
you import the data?
So we have AIF and ADF. We have this data interchange format framework already with us within Microsoft Dynamics. So data import export is a complete separate module altogether within Dynamics 365, where
Okay,
we
fine.
where we can.
Which is you're mentioning the DMF.
Right, because
Okay, fine. Yeah.
earlier in AX 2012, what normally we used to do, we used to even migrate the data or import data with the TXT file. We used to do that because we had direct access to database. But with D365, if it is finance and operation, then still it becomes easy on-premise version, because we have access to database. But with the Dynamics 365 FNO in cloud, we don't have access directly to this production database. So what ultimately we need to do, that we need to use the data import export framework, create template for every transaction, convert those legacy data into that template, check it properly, then import into sandbox, test it properly. Then after testing, definitely it needs to be tested by customer also, because there may be some kind of erroneous data is there. Then after customer has tested and they have certified that okay, the data import is correct, or whatever this correction needs to be done, that those corrections are to be made. Once those corrections are done, then finally import, what import, that means deploy to the production.
Okay. Which is the largest project which you have done?
The largest project what I have done are two. One is for your Emerald Beltec. It's a Netherlands-based company. It's the world's largest conveyor belt manufacturing company. So
Okay.
we did 18 country rollout for them with the Dynamics
Okay.
365. They have got one factory there back in Chennai also here. And the second largest project what we did was for petrochemical conversion company. It's a Chevron Phillips company, by the way. Now they call Chevron Saudi. So we did it for Saudi Chevron. So Saudi
And what was your team like?
that time we had with Saudi Chevron we had a 28 members team.
Okay, and how was it divided? Like,
We had 18 members on site.
uh
On site that means in Saudi only.
okay. Was
So
there customizations done?
we did customization for their chemical manufacturing because it's a plastic chemical conversion company. So their business process was actually taking this garbage, or you can say the extract of that oil and gas refineries, and then finally convert them into plastic. So into polymer, actually, what normally we call it, normal terms we call plastic. So
Do you have
they had got 9 stage of manufacturing routes. Yeah, tell me, did you
do
have?
you, do you have experience in production module?
That's what I said. Yes, of course, production module.
You mean to say you can handle a complete study of a manufacturing unit?
Any type,
Discrete process units.
discrete, process, and continuous, which you call lean
Okay.
manufacturing.
Okay. And what about integrations? Have you handled integrations with third-party solutions?
There are always third party integrations are required. I'll give you for an example for our, and there are set rules now on the ground. For an example, we do integration with Avalara for all our US customer because taxation system is on Avalara. For all our Indian customer, 18 Indian customers, we have delivered integration with Signet, which is tax and e-way bill management system. Then for the manufacturing industry, we have got different types of integrations to be done. One from transferring this production order to their production plan unit, which we did it through XML based integration because their system were supporting only XML based integration only. They used to take the XML request. Then for the healthcare industry, we have done IMO integration. We have done even imaging integration where the ultrasonic digital imaging reports, it comes on pre-comp, and then finally it is imported into Dynamics 365 from the customer record system. So integrations are to be done from the heterogeneous system. It completely depends that how the third party integration application is going to support. It can be XML based, it can be REST API based. Both ways are supported. And now you look at it, Power Automate has made the life as simpler that b- almost 70% of our works are done through Power Automate only. So we create a canvas application, and we write power apps systems to do the integration with those third party systems.
Okay. Kayam? Kayam and Adil, I think we are done for the day.
Okay. Mannath, what I will do, I will have a discussion internally, then come back.
Sure, Mr. Kiam. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Sir.
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Bye bye.